Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and the podcast. How are you? 1,500 episodes of the podcast. Thank you. If you're one of the Cinderellas of the Good Morning Portugal audience listening over there quietly on the podcast, barely making contact with the show, if ever, do say hi if you're a podcast listener. It'd be lovely to hear from you. And how are you liking the new format? Of course, the format applies to both the live stream here and the podcast length now. Who doesn't like a podcast length first thing in the morning or any other time of day, an hour? How's it working for you? We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. Interested in your feedback. Have you been using that extra half hour to learn Portuguese or just staying in bed a little bit longer? What's been going on with that extra 30 minutes? If you're one of those very, very faithful viewers, listeners who was listening for 90 minutes, now 60 minutes, 2 weeks. That doesn't time fly when you're having fun here. Well, good morning to you. How are you doing? If you're watching this later, don't forget to add a comment. Even if you are watching later, I do my best to hoover up any comments that are made after the show is broadcast or watched later on and include them. So please say hi in YouTube, probably, or send me a message. You can see my number there, 913-590-303 is the WhatsApp number. If you're WhatsApping me from outside of Portugal, stick a 00351 on the front of that. Great evening last night. I've never seen, or I have seen, Gilda happy. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? She was extraordinary. Let me put it this way. She was extraordinarily cheerful last night. She welcomed, we've been talking about the new 41 points of the remix of immigration policy here in Portugal. The new measures that were announced on Monday have been rubber stamped by the president. And she was very pleased to see them. She was saying, basically, as I recall from last night, that if she could have written a wish list herself, it would have looked a lot like that. So some light at the end of this tunnel that many have been struggling with migration. Already moved to Portugal, waiting for your residency to be renewed, your cards, your paperwork. It does appear to be some movement there and some goodwill being poured into the whole migration project into Portugal. And get this, IMA staff are being financially incentivized as well. So there may be a turnaround. People have been wanting to leave IMA and CEF. They may want to stay. They may get new recruits who want to earn some extra money based on their performance and get a bonus, a reward for doing some good work. So we'll keep an eye on that. And we'll let you know what's going on, of course, with anything to do with migration into Portugal and all that means. Before the Dream Team session, thanks, by the way, to Sandra Costa, your colleague Milene at Winsurance. She stepped in for Nuno last night. He popped in very quickly, bless him. And we had Steve Flack from Spartan FX. If you're looking to buy some currency, Spartan FX, of course, are your people to do that. And the ECB rate cut was already priced in, was the phrase that he used. But if you use our link in our show notes, if you want to buy some euros, it's still a good time, he says. But obviously, you have to make your own decision about that, whether it's right for you or not. All about Lisbon, investing, working, and living in Lisbon and Portugal more generally was the subject of the pre-Dream Team webinar last night with the wonderful Chitra Stern. She and Roman have been living in Portugal for 23 years now. And part of my conversation with her and Martin Harris, the executive director of the United Lisbon School. Great conversation with them. And given that Chitra had been here for 23 years, and we're a very interesting time here in Portugal, and not least because of the new, the migratory interest and the new policies that are coming in. But I asked her what she thought Portugal might be like in 23 years from now. And of course, I asked that question of Martin as well, as a headmaster, as an executive director of the school. How did he see the future for the pupils whose minds are in his hands, metaphorically? So you might want to have a look at that somewhat philosophical and future-focused conversation. Great to hear about them and their great love of Lisbon, Orient especially. That's where the action is if you're part of Martin Jarl and I was going to call it the Empire. Just that sounds a bit, doesn't seem like quite the right word to describe Chitra and Roman's amazing work all over Portugal, but now focusing very much so in Orient, near the wonderful, all of the Expo site of Portugal from 1998, which is an incredible place to be now, not least in their 5-star lifestyle that you can it's a turnkey solution, basically. You can come into Portugal, go live in Orient, Martin Jarl, and have all your needs taken care of. Doesn't that sound nice as a way to enter into Portugal? Check it out, Martin Jarl Residences, Orient being their flagship project. Great to talk to you last night, Chitra, live from London. Right, Bobby can't be with us in person, but we do have some nice video. Actually, I'll roll the video while I'm talking now, and I hope you can hear me. This is actually could be one of those sort of relaxation videos. Men pumping concrete. Who doesn't like to pump first thing in the morning? That actually was the end of the video. Here we go. Here it is from the start. Some therapeutic concrete pumping viewing for you this morning as we say a few hellos, and I'm sure you will tell me if I've now been plunged into silence. Lord Travanca, I spotted you last night. Thanks for being on the webinar, Barak. Hola, bon dia from Lord Travanca. We hear there was lightning and rain everywhere. However, we received none. Ugh. Oh, you wanted some, did you? Not here either. Not on the Silver Coast. But yes, thunder and lightning, very, very frightening indeed in parts of Portugal last night. Back to 7:36 then. Bon dia, Portugal from Coach Turner. Feliz sexta-feira. Putting the sex in sexta-feira this morning. Beautiful day here in Hertfordshire. So off for a walk and a coffee. Plus ça change. The more things change, the more they stay the same. God Squad tip of the day. One of going into a little bit of WC Fields there. One of the last week's exercises was heel raises to help strengthen the feet, ankles, and calves. The good news is that you can also achieve this whilst walking. As you take each step, push off with the ball of your foot. Oh, by the way, we've got Savvy Cat Ana joining us as well. And she's been on her Route 66 from the north to the south. She's live from Albufeira this morning. She'll be talking about her journey of nearly a couple of weeks with her mum not up and down, but down from the north of Portugal on the N2 on Portugal's Route 66, talking to her about that around 9:30. Anyway, as you take each step, push off with the ball of your foot. You'll find your stride extends a little, but you'll feel your calves working harder. Thank you, Bobby, for the concrete pumping. I find that I have to keep thinking about it. Mindful walking then. Otherwise, I revert back to a more natural step. Well, isn't that, or a more normal step, the one you're conditioned to using, right? Isn't that interesting how there's a mindfulness connection here? And how we're creatures of habit, essentially, unless we intervene on ourselves as coaches directing us to do this morning. And don't forget your posture. As the song goes, walk tall, walk straight, and look the world right in the eye. That's what my mama told me when I was about knee high. She said, son, be a proud man and hold your head up high. All together now. Walk tall, walk straight, and look the world right in the eye. You're very welcome. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers. No, we didn't set that up so that I could karaoke you this morning. Thank you, though, for that opportunity, Coach Turner. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from an okay morning in Belfast, 9 degrees. Should hit 16 or 17 degrees by 1 p.m. Wow. Rain will be cleared by then. Warm, sunny, 18 degrees Saturday, Sunday. And, of course, we have, do we not, Portugal Day on, I think it's Monday, isn't it? Yes, Monday. A public holiday coming up on Monday. We're into the festive, we're into Portugal's festive season in many ways, which lasts from now until Christmas anyway. And let me share with you then, I'll give you a link, those of you who are Portugal Club members, if we go over to GMP VIP, theportugalclub.com, it is Portugal, Camões and Portuguese Communities Day on Monday, the 10th of June. Find out more about that. I'll put the link for doing that. And I'm doing my utmost best to make sure that in the calendar, we have these dates. Now, I haven't put that in yet, have I? Yes, I have. Portugal Day. Very good, Carl. Portugal Day, national holiday. And you can transfer these if you click add to calendar over there. Yeah, I'm doing my best to make sure that you are alerted so that when you're trying to do some bureaucratic business, you're not caught out finding that everything is closed because of a public holiday here in Portugal. That's in our essential information section over there at the Portugal Club. I urge you to join that if you haven't done already. And the link to Portugal Day and the backstory to it going onto the screen right now. And thanks to everybody who contributes over there, notably Antonio F. and Erica, who's taking a little bit of a break. But thank you. Let me say publicly here, Erica, thank you for all your contributions over there at the Portugal Club. So thank you very much indeed. And remember, Monday will be a public holiday here in Portugal. Portugal Day and Day of Camões and Portugal Communities Day celebrated all over the world. It's a big day for Portuguese communities all over the world over. Bom dia, Gumpers, from James at 8:40. Feliz sexta a todos. Are you using your extra 30 minutes to learn a bit of Portuguese, James? Is that how it's working out? See you Monday. Feliz sexta a todos. Okay, time feito. And your mindful moment, my friend. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life, because one day it will be, right? Sorry, but it's true. Marcus Aurelius. Have I not? No, it doesn't say, have I not entertained you? Have I not entertained you enough? Anyway, I want to. There are two movies that they've been coming onto my radar, and I feel the need to watch 300 and Gladiator again in that sort of space at the moment. Mindful dad joke, Women's Roofing Expo. This is very good. Women's Roofing Expo this weekend. All the shingle ladies. All the shingle ladies will be there. Very good. And your visual imagery this morning, James, thank you for that. Especially tickled me this morning. I actually know a lot of jokes in sign language. That's interesting. Wait for it. And I guarantee you nobody has ever heard them. Ooh, he's on fire this morning, isn't he? Very good. Muita calor, Senor Oli. Rest is not idleness. Oh, okay, let's just calm down for a moment. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under trees on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of the water or watching the clouds float across the sky is by no means a waste of time. That's so beautiful. Thank you, James. John Lubbock, rest is not idleness. It's a very different thing. That's what I keep telling Mrs. M anyway. Yeah, very good. Very important to rest. Very important to take a breather. Sharpen your tool, as it were. The woodcutter doesn't spend all his time chopping down trees. He or she has to sharpen their axe from time to time and rest and recuperate as well. Excellent brace of mindfulness and playfulness this morning, especially the shingle ladies there. Thank you very much. And who is John Lubbock, by the way? Oh, sunset from last night, 21:20, I think. John João do Norte, João Ernesto up there in the north. Thank you very much for this on 913-590-303. Let's take a look at the back garden and that blazing sunset, and the pond's coming on very nicely as well there, John. So thank you very much. And let's try that joke again from yesterday. I wasn't able to do it justice. My bad. Partly, I think they're in racing through things yesterday. So let's have that again, because it was. I'd like to get to the bottom of that, like a proctologist, like a proctorial forensic scientist. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of that joke that you shared with us yesterday, John. Let's give it another go. Bon dia from Sarah. How are you this morning, Sarah? Good to see you here on the screen. Nice to see you in the last couple of days here. Just going to remove the sunset there for a moment. Oh, and thanks for the opening meme this morning from Chinese Terry. Ancient Greeks loading their dishwasher. Hey! Very good. Thank you for that as well. And of course, events to come up before we talk to Savvy Cat, or maybe after. We'll have a look at Bayrandi's brace of festive happenings in the Bairrada region. Things, it's just a microcosm of all that's going on Portugal really coming into the its own summer festive season right now. Quite incredible what's being built here. And as like a second town is being built upon the town of São Martinho de Porto. Do come over in the next couple of weeks. I think it's 9 days of festivities, maybe 10. It's quite extraordinary here, the Santo Antonio Festival here in São Martinho de Porto. And talking to Gilda last night, she thinks June is definitely the best month here in Portugal. Oh, on Sunday, I'll be having another one of these. Really enjoyed this pint of IPA over there at the Prohibition Bar. There's some blues on there. We'll be going over there about lunchtime on Sunday in Óbidos this coming Sunday. So maybe see you over there for that one. What are you up to this weekend? Do let me know in the chat. And what else? I was going to show you something else over there that caught my eye. Oh, another funny. Let's have some fun today on this Feel Good Friday. No context Brits then. I think Owen might have sent me this. What do you want for your password? Chicken. It needs a capital. Chicken Kiev. Very good. And thank you, Owen, for that. And Owen and T-Duck busily working on new jingles for the Good Morning Portugal show. Would you like to suggest a jingle, perhaps? If you're watching this morning live right now, maybe you can give them a little bit of a steer on the jingles. They've asked me. I'm very happy for them to come up with whatever they're inspired by. But if you think I need a particular jingle, let's pop that into the chat now, and I'll pass that on to Owen and T-Duck, who I suspect are listening whilst working behind the scenes on new jingles for the show. And I thank you very much, gentlemen, for doing so. Winsurance is Milan with a bon dia Gumpers. Carl and Gumpers at 8:51 this morning with her weather forecast of 21 degrees in Lisbon. Bit cloudy there at the moment. And your morning thought, surrender to what is. Let go of what was. Have faith in what will be. Sonia Ricotti, who sounds like a cheese or a pasta, also turns out to be a bit of a philosopher as well. So surrender to what is. Let go of what was and have faith in what will be. Easier said than done, but good advice nonetheless. Bon dia todos from Antonio F. How you doing, mate? Good to see you this morning. And a bon dia, Antonio, check from Winsurance. You've had your insurance check this morning. Oh, and talking of insurance, I was having a chat with Nuno recently about how to activate car recovery. Riboc, I think it's called here, isn't it? And in France, possibly. When you need your vehicle recovered, which I did, battery, alternator, distributor, something's gone horribly wrong with the electrics on my old Skoda. And it needed to be taken to João, and it's up for its test. I wonder, will it go through another year? We didn't think it would make it this far. It might, it may not. We'll find out. And it has been taken to João over there near Caldas de Rainha. And a lovely man came yesterday. It was great dealing with Zurich. Thoroughly recommend having your motor insurance with Winsurance because you have a hotline to the team. And Nuno told me, just call the company, tell them you need a pickup, and it will be done. It won't cost anything. It's all part of the insurance service. And I watched my vehicle. It's a bit of deja vu because our camper van was once upon a time towed away in San Martino to Caldas de Rainha, and our vehicle 7 years later almost towed away again yesterday. So, dear old Skoda, hope everything goes well for you today under the scalpel of João, and the electronics can be sorted out this morning. But a really great service. There isn't roadside assistance like you get in UK. I don't know how it works in US, but you ring the number. And a fantastic gentleman. I did, posso falar inglês with these difficult things. My Portuguese wasn't up to it. And a fabulous man. Adrien, good morning to you. Shout out to you, Adrien at Zurich. You did a great job helping me yesterday. So thank you for that. 530 years ago today was signed the Tordesillas Treaty, where Portugal and Castile, Spain, divided the world in two parts. Wow. Half for each to discover, conquer, or influence. You have that bit, we'll have that bit. Isn't that amazing? Quite incredible. And thank you for that little bit history tidbit. It's factoid there, Antonio. Much appreciated. João Ernesto is here. We saw his picture of his sunset last night. Bon dia, Portugal, from João Ernesto do Norte. Michael Barton also in this morning. How you doing? I'm off to the Storytellers tonight, Michael. Not for the full dinner. That is happening this evening. An incredible evening. There are Epicurean extravaganzas with some live violin music at the Storytellers Palace tonight. I'm going to go and meet Senor Franco, who is the winemaker, and I'm going to do a little interview with him. Maybe, hopefully, have a glass of his wine. You might be able to get a last-minute reservation if you fancy that. The town is buzzing. 917-632-020. An immersive experience with a test of your palate. It's an amazing evening with many, many courses. You lose count after a while, and pairing with the various wines that the wine producer brings with them. It's the Colección Privada of Senor Franco tonight. Domingos Franco is the winemaker this evening. So looking forward to meeting him a little bit later on and seeing the storytellers team. Oh, I showed you some video, didn't I, of what's going on at the site. A bit of a slideshow. Bobby can't be with us, but sends pictures of what's going on. There's the long shot, of Herdad de Mayo. And some nice progress here. He's got his very own Lego set, hasn't he, as Bobby? Must be amazing. These are obviously drone shots, and it's all coming together very nicely with his own personal Lego set there at Herdad de Mayo, all fitting in nicely with the local community there. He's building a village, really, isn't he? With these 80 or so buildings there at Herdad de Mayo in various states of construction at the moment. And that's what we saw earlier on, wasn't it? Therapeutic concrete pumping. Maybe that should be its own YouTube channel. Thanks for those shots there, Bobby. Awaiting the arrival of Savvy Cat Ana this morning, and we'll have a look at a few of Byrandy's selections for the weekend as well. Good remembrance. He wasn't there at the time, to be fair, 530 years ago, I don't think. Yes, thunder and lightning, very, very frightening indeed, says Barak. Did you experience that? And has it all gone now here in Portugal? The Tratado de Tordesillas divided Brazil in two, and the place I was born belonged to Spain. Wow. Thank you for that, Milen, as well. A personal insight there. Jess is with us. Good morning to you, Jess. How are you doing? Bon dia, todos from you. Insurance, I believe the only thing good coming out of the União Ibérica of 1580 to 1640 was that during that time, Brazil could grow into the Castilian Spanish part and have the size it has now. Brazil is vast, isn't it? And no GMP and Carl today again. What's going on? What's happening? Have I pressed the button and crashed into darkness or something, I wonder? No, maybe not. Okay, great, fantastic. We do have the denotative and other thing, butt dialing and booty calls. So ding-a-ling, what's this? A jingle for GMP. I just keep the dad jokes coming. Ding-a-ling-ling. Okay, I think we've got a ding-a-ling-ling somewhere, which has everybody reaching for or thinking we were so brought up on this, weren't we? It's not this one. We've got lots of jingles that we rarely use. I think it's this one. Yeah, there's the ding-a-ling jingle. We've already got that one. And doesn't that make you want to do something like either answer the phone yourself or shout out that somebody else answers it? Can someone answer that blooming thing, please? Wow. Jingles to come then from Owen and T-Duck. Ophthalmology appointments. Hold on a minute. Where did we get to? Jess. We got to Jess. And then I don't understand that. No GMP and Carl today. Again, that was at 10 minutes past 9. I was here. I had an ophthalmologist appointment yesterday afternoon in Braga, and a good friend came along to keep me company. He didn't need to come, but came anyway. Little things like that mean so much. Isn't that lovely? A road trip to the ophthalmologist with a buddy. Nice one. And was there beer involved afterwards? Yeah, check your vision. Did you manage to double it? Bondi, everyone from the Naunu this morning. I hope you're having a good day. Good to see you last night on the call. I hope you're having a good day so far. To Antonio F. And I'm sure to the rest of us as well. Byrandy's in. We'll have a look at your previews in just a moment, Byrandy. Bon dia Malta, a boat-tastic walk through the stunning Bairrada. Birdies out in full forza. Oh, it sounds wonderful up there, Andy, and I trust you had a great birthday. Sorry I missed that, but belated birthday wishes to you, my friend. Bon dia Gumpers from Jackie. Jackie's here. Smash the like button, she says, and it will fill your fridge with chocolate. Maybe. Thank you very much. Worth a try, isn't it? And that not so serious deep thought for linguistic nerds then. Phrasing pairs that share a denotative meaning, but whose connotative meaning is very different. Answer is the butt call and booty. Sorry, the butt dial and the booty call. Thank you very much. And denotative then, by way of explanation, A word's main meaning, not including emotion and ideas that people may connect with that word. Okay. I still don't get it, John. I've never been on this street before, and I discovered this house there. I told the inhabitants I was claiming it. Oh, I do get it now. So a butt dial could be a booty call, but those things. Okay, I'm with you now. So no, not that one. I understand. You get one of those. Thank you very much. Okay, an observation. People who is saying hello to the Maltese people should only say good morning, Malta. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's in connection with you there, by Randy. And bon dia a todos. It's confusing, isn't it, when he's saying good morning to Malta on Good Morning Portugal, like he does. But I think we know what he means. A connotative, then. We've had the denotative. Let's go with the connotative. The emotions or ideas associated with the word, it goes beyond the actual meaning of the word and paints a picture or invokes a feeling. Thank you. Connotative. What a great word, as in connaissance, I guess, and consciousness. Very good. And reconnaissance and reconnoiter and those sorts of words. We got there in the end. Thank you very much. Massive sigh of relief up there in the north of Portugal and for me here. Hold on a minute. They owned Brazil. Everything they took was theirs. Grr. Wow. Okay. Not happy about that. Okay. I think we've had an earlier comment that might help with that. Let the past be the past. Perhaps, Mr. S. But if you want to be angry about it and upset your day, you're very welcome. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Right. Let's have a look at those previews then in anticipation of Savvy Cat Ana joining us. She's in Albufeira this morning. She's traveled all the way down the country on the Route 66. And if she'd done this this weekend, she could have checked into the Bairrada district and enjoyed this on the 8th. That'll be tomorrow. Fantastic value, medieval evening, including dinner. Loads of animation. Is that projection onto the buildings? And a lot of fun for just €8. You get soup, as a carne of porco, all sorts of things. Your sobremesa included there for €8 in Cavoish, up there. Medieval festival in Cavoish, Bairrada. Also up that way, a nature trail, walk, run, party in Oliveira de Bairro in ODB. Up there in the Bairrada district. Festival of wine and food in Cordinha. In Cantanhede, a chance to visit Cantanhede, of course, as well. That looks good, doesn't it? Good right now. Check out this fab festival for some top entertainment, wine and food, as well as the great local bands. There's guided walks, Zumba. Always a bit of Zumba snuck in there. Summer's here, and why not head to the Sardinhada parties of the Praia de Barra in Aveiro? The smell of sardines will fill the air at Barra near Aveiro. If you go on the train to Aveiro hoping to walk to the beach, you'll have a rude awakening. You'll have to get the bus out to the beach or drive straight there to... what are the names of the beaches there? Barra is one of them, isn't it? Summer's here, and so are the fantastic Barra Sardinhadas. Visit these great fun parties along the seafront of this fabulous sandy beach and party into the small hours with the locals and the holiday makers. That looks lovely. Praia de Barra there, just outside Aveiro, and a free guided nature walk in Agueira, near Agada as well. You could also visit Agada, well worth a visit. Fantastic town. The Caminhar Natureza there, nature walk, the PR2 Lavadas Trail. And have you seen that trail in the parish of Valongo de Vuga? That's a railway line as well, which is worth checking out, the Vuga railway line. I think it's a single track, narrow gauge, if you like that sort of thing. Fun cycle through Melhada then. Pedal through this picturesque Melhada. All of these on the Gumper map. And let me put that into the chat for you as well, the Gumper map. That's important. You can find all of these on the Gumper map. And Andy does some amazing work with that. So thanks again, Andy, and thank you for sharing these particular events with us. It's under the events and the events and map tab, and I'm going to find you the exact link that you can go to for yourself and add some things for yourself as well. If you're thinking, hold on a minute, there only seem to be parties in Bairrada. Well, there are parties all over Portugal, and if you know of some, why not add them to our Gumper map? There's the fun cycle through Melhada then. And there's the link for the Gumper map right there. Last couple then, thanks, Barandi. Run, walk in Melhada, another bit of activity there. June 10th on Monday for the holiday of Portugal Day. Another edition of the mythical 3 miles of Melhada, organised in partnership with the Trilhos Luso and Busaco Association, part of the program of the Meliada Craft and Gastronomy Fair. Registration is free but mandatory, so you can run for free, but you'll need to let them know you're coming. Free t-shirts available from 8:30 on Monday there. And finally, a free walk of the Fonch, of the water sources, the wells, free lunch, free t-shirt, and free live entertainment in Palhaça. That's fantastic. You need to sign up, but you'll get all of that on the 10th of June. More celebrations for Portugal Day. Fabulous. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, by Andy, for all of those. And please do add to Andy's great work over on the Gumper Map. Of course, originally started by Sarah Yerman, who is with us this morning as well. And don't forget to get your, I think the weather's good now, and it is time to get the brokinis, mankinis out from the dry cleaners, where they probably ended up from last season. Don't forget, maybe don't wear that if you're going along to some of the events that Andy, well, I don't know, if you want to make an impact, that's the way to do it, I suspect. So we're waiting for the arrival of Savvy Cat Ana. She'll be joining us, talking about her trip down from the north, down the N2. Oh, a bit of video from, we have got a storm video. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. Mike sent in from Miranda de Corvo. And thank you for your gift the other day, waiting for the power to come back on. There was something else I wanted to share with you. Okay, Anna's definitely got the link. And Phil is a star that I'm writing about in the Portugal Resident this week. Lovely spread of Phil there in the Portugal Resident. And my article this week is called Humanity or Ideology. So you might like to take a look at that, where I share my concerns about my fellow Americans over there. It's online, the Portugal Resident as well. And there it is. Lovely big picture of Phil. Isn't that a beauty? Right there. And let me just play the thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening indeed from Mike. Thank you for this. My voice is going, but here it is. And we'll talk to Savvy Cat Ana straight after this. A few seconds then of thunder and lightning in central Portugal. Oh, unmute. That's very good. Let's hear that again. I wonder if Savvy Cat Ana will like this as an intro. Some people have walk-on music. She has thunder and... rattling the cutlery as well. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Savvy Cat Ana, everybody. Good morning to you. Anna, how are you?
Good morning, Carl. I am in the not-so-sunny Algarve today because it's not sunny.
You don't often hear it called that, do you? The not so sunny Algarve, and of course the final, the climax of your trip from the north to the south on the N2, which is sometimes called Portugal's Route 66. Are you happy with it being given that name?
Actually, it's strangely the third longest road in the world, despite the fact that Portugal is not such a big of a country. And it only loses to the Route 66 and another road that I think it's in Russia, but I did read about it at the time. But given that, I don't think it's such a bad name.
It's great, isn't it? Little old Portugal with the third longest road in the world. And I mean, its history is incredible, isn't it? And there you are, a picture of you with the map of the N2. If I just take that comment off for a moment, forgive me, Pete. Look at that. It's like the spine of the country, isn't it? And it goes through all these important and amazing places. And of course, must have been established as a trade route in its origins. What did you find out about the history of it before we?
No, actually, it was built in the 1900s. I don't know if it was the 60s, the 40s, something like that, because at the time there were no main roads on the interior, and it was just built all the way from up to down.
Hold on a minute. I just saw your sleeve there. That's coming. Are you having? Is that an old piece of work there, or are you having it updated gradually?
No, it's actually this part is like 8 years old, and this part is like 4 years old.
Wow, that's quite incredible. Very beautiful. Thank you very much. Sorry to get so distracted like that. And it's looking a bit windy there, as you say, in the not so sunny
I'm actually going to, when I go back inside, I'm going to put a long sleeve because it's not hot at all.
Oh right, amazing. Okay, so it's back to the N2, Portugal's Route 66 then. And you say it has 100-year history, is that what you said? Approximately, thereabouts.
It's not 100, but it's not too far from being 100 now. It's
Okay.
probably like 80 years or 70 years, something like that. No?
Yep. And the original routes, the main, I guess, a main route for getting up and down and moving goods around Portugal, before all the A roads and the toll roads that we now use were built. How was it, generally speaking? And then maybe we could deep dive into a few of your highlights along the way. But generally speaking, how was your experience making your way from the north to the south of Portugal?
I think it's a very interesting experience to have because you literally get to see all of the Portuguese landscapes. And I did make an effort along the trip to do all the typical cultural stuff and eat the local foods and all of that stuff. And it can very much be a course on Portugal in a way, because you really get to see all the different locations. So you start in the north, in Minho, in Chaves, and then you go down to Trás-os-Montes, and then you go down to Ribatejo, then Alentejo, and then Algarve, and you see everything along the way. I would say the most scenic part, it's probably the Douro area because it's beautiful and it does go along the river and you can see all the vineyards in a part. So it's very beautiful. Personally, the city that I was the most impressed with was Chaves, the Viseu. Viseu is developing very well and it's a very beautiful city. I haven't gone there for a few years now. And it's really nice, and the food is just good everywhere. I don't know how to pick.
Well, tell us if I could encourage you to maybe. I know it's difficult, but pull some highlights out there. We've heard that your favorite town is Viseu, and I would love to hear more about the food.
In Viseu, I actually stumbled in a really cool restaurant when we were about to leave. And it was completely randomly picked because I just picked a place that was close to the N2 road as we were leaving. And it just turned out beautifully because it was actually a restaurant from a quinta, a local lodging, and then they had some local products and so on. And they did use local products in the food. And it was really, really nice. I had urtigas espargos, not espargos, urtigas, but I can't remember the name. That thing you do like a stir fry of vegetables, espargado. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
Asparagus. Asparagus or not asparagus?
No, asparagus are the long vegetables, and then espargado, and that's why I kind of confused the name, is a Portuguese dish where you kind of do a stir fry until things get soft of vegetables. It can be done with spinach, with grelos, with urtigas, and it can be done with different kind of vegetables. And so I had espargado de urtigas, and urtigas are, those very annoying plants.
Yeah, nettles.
Yes.
Stinging nettles, basically. So you had a stinging
and it was delicious.
I think nettles are great. Nettles are like a spinach, aren't they? And of course, when you cook them, it takes the sting out. But when you just get the tips, it's a great vegetable. Absolutely wonderful. So let's just rewind a little bit because I think you had a certain format, didn't you, for making this journey? You put a limit on the price of your accommodation, and you wanted to make sure you had a meal every day. And your mum was on the journey with you as well.
And actually, just give me 1 second. I'm going to get my passport and my guides, and it's just here.
Okay, all right. She's just popping off to get a prop to show us there. Carl, I hope you appreciate my ability to give you wood most morning. Well, yeah, have you sent me something else this morning, Pete? Yes, he has. More wood from Pete this morning. A bench. He's benchmarking. Very good. My benchmark, he says. Yeah, he's already made that joke for me. Thank you for setting it up. I'll just knock it down the fairway. Thank you very much, Peter. She's back again. You didn't need your passport, did you? Oh, that one.
That's the thing, the cool thing. This is the EN2 passport.
Where'd you get that from?
You can get it in any point throughout the EN2 in all the tourism points. I got it from Chaves, and it was actually sold out on the first tourism point. I had to go to a different one. because apparently a lot of people do this. And you kind of stamp along the way
That's
as you
fantastic.
go. So you see all the stamps that I have.
Yes, that's wonderful. What a lovely keepsake of your journey.
Yeah. And some places are like here, São Pedro do Sul, the road only goes for 2 miles. And if you want to go to the actual town, you have to make a detour. And I passed here, it was like 8 p.m. So I wasn't going to make a detour and no stamp.
But you remember
But
it well, obviously. Oh, you've got lots of stamps in there.
Yes.
That's like I
Yes,
Spy for kids, isn't it?
it's 35 freguesias, so it's a lot of them. So I have this cool one with a picture.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
And this one is the Centro Geodesic. They had these ones with like 3D ones. See?
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
And
so
it
tell us
goes all the way to Faro.
all the way then. So sorry, remind us then. You've ended up in the Algarve. Where did it start? What's the starting point?
It starts in Chaves and
Yeah.
ends in Faro.
Okay, Chaves to Faro there. There it is, the spine of Portugal. It's like
And it's 739 kilometers.
right. And so how long did you give yourself to do that? And can you tell us a bit more about the parameters of your trip, your budget and that sort of thing?
Yes, so I did it in 16 days because I counted the first day as day 0. So on my, if you follow the Instagram, it finished on the day 15, but the first day was day 0. So it's technically 16 days.
Yep.
And in the places, in the bigger towns, I always stayed for 2 nights because I wanted to have the whole day to check the town. And one of my goals was to stay in places in nice hotels and nice lodgings that costed less than 100 euros per night. Because one of the goals for this trip was to showcase the affordability and the diversity of Portugal, and that there is so much more to Portugal than Lisbon, Porto, and the Algarve, and there are absolutely beautiful places along Portugal, and many of them are extremely affordable. Some of them even surprised me.
Is that right? What's an example of that? What the value?
Well, see, this is my original guide, so I have all I handwritten everything that I wanted to visit, and then I have like the little mark saying that whether or not I got to do it.
Yeah.
And
in years to come.
Yes. And my 2 favorite places when it came to lodging was in Pedrógão Pequeno, that apparently already belongs to Sertã, which was a surprise because I thought I would get the stamp from Pedrógão Grande. It doesn't, it's from Sertã, so I had to go back. Anyway, I spent 67.6 euros in a 4-star hotel. And their website is terrible, so I wasn't having very high expectations for that. And the hotel is absolutely amazing. Like they have spa, interior pool, exterior pool, and the most amazing view. The rooms are a bit outdated but good, but 67.5 euros.
Very, very good indeed. And that's
with breakfast.
Is it? I mean, this is an area. That's incredible. I mean, this is an area we're hearing about via Steve and Paul Rees as well. The amazing things going on there, and to get that sort of value is absolutely wonderful. So your budget was 100 a night, and a little bit of a saving there, 100 a night for the accommodation.
Yes, but then again, that's impossible in the Algarve. So when I got to the Algarve, I spent 140 a night.
Okay, well, that's an interesting difference. But what seems to be happening here is they could, because they're on the N2, on the Route 66 of Portugal, they could take advantage of that and really inflate the prices. But that's not happening, certainly not in Pedrógão.
No, not at all. I think that most of the people that do the EN2 don't do it because it's on the go. It's not, it wasn't one of the reasons I wasn't really willing to stay in high-end hotels is because I would be mostly spending time outside and exploring places. The hotels would be mostly to sleep in and rest a bit. Of course, if it had some extras, it would be nice, but it didn't make sense to stay at the 5-star resort for just to sleep in. Right. But so I made that goal of something affordable. But like I was saying, in this look, I actually had a lot of places that costed me on that range. I have here on my guide, like Chaves, it costed me so 158 for 2 nights, and I got a superior twin room. So it was also like 70. That didn't make it to 80. So
Very good.
under 80 euros a night.
Yeah.
And I stayed at the Fort Hotel, which is a historical one, and it was really cool. And then in Villarreal, actually, the Villarreal one was the most disappointing. That I spent
Really?
100 euros a night, and it was a modern hotel, but it was terribly designed. So the rooms were terribly impractical, and they kind of used really cheap materials. So even though
dear.
it was just built 2 years ago, our sink was leaking. There was a bunch of damage from infiltration, and it was like, why are people so cheap? Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. But generally speaking, it sounds like you've had the most incredible experience.
Yes.
What about food then? What was your food budget?
I didn't really have a food budget. I did the different things, and right now I don't eat a lot, so I say that we are 1.5 persons, and generally a dose for one person is enough, but it depends, of course, on how much you eat. And as you know, especially in the north, often a dose is more than enough for 2 people, even 2 people that eat normally. So that was the case in a lot of cases. And we've been to very different places. We've been to Tascas, where we had the meal for the 2 of us for 14 euros. And we've been to the Vidago Palace Hotel, where we had a meal for, I think it was 36 euros. But we did have like the simpler things like salad and soup and that kind of thing. But then again, it's a 5-star hotel. So it was a bit all over the place. I think the most expensive meal we had was 47 euros, but it was seafood.
Okay. Yeah, very good. And I'm sure it was delicious.
Yes,
on that note, it's good to see you here this morning, Chris, Capricorn Chris. The Percebes Festival, very special, almost like a science fiction sea creature. The Percebes. The festival is happening in Vila do Bispo. It starts today. Yum. Good to see you here this morning, Chris. And a question that's come in from Sarah, of course, who cycled the N2. We covered that when you did that, of course.
That's when I was living from Chaves, there was a couple that was going to do that, and I was like, they are brave. They are very
hardcore.
Brave.
Yes, just like the Germans. Right? Do you have any favorite funny town names? We liked Malpartida. It's a bad departure, and the Alto de Lamas, or the Lama Heights.
I remember when I was leaving Viseu, I couldn't picture it, but there was a place that we found hilarious because there was one of those signposts with 2 names. One of them was Forca, and the other one was Max era Forca. It was like 2 execution names, and it was like the beheading and the hanging. It was something like that.
Yikes. Okay. Not the warmest of welcomes.
And we're like, okay, that's dark.
Wow. So any other surprises then? I mean, what's fascinating is that many Portuguese people I speak to obviously love their country. They love where they're from. There's a great sense of patriotism. And you find out, you talk to people, say, have you been to Tamar? They say, no, never been to Tamar. Or they haven't been to this place or that place, which all the tourists go. But Portuguese people themselves don't necessarily go to all of these different places because it's pretty great where they live. Did you have any nice surprises like that? Did you get to see a lot of places you hadn't been to before?
I think the only town I never had been to before was Villarreal, but I am a bit of a unique case because my father always made it a point that we had to know our own country. And even when I was young, we did a lot of tourism inside of Portugal, and he would take us to all of these places. So I think the only town I actually never been to was Villarreal. But many of these things I've been many, many years ago. So it was nice to see the difference and to visit some things again, like 15, 20 years later. But that's not the case at all. I mean, a lot of people, even the families that can afford to have vacations, they often prefer either to go to the Algarve or to go outside of Portugal.
Yes.
It's not so common, especially for families, to do tourism inside of Portugal. And I think it's a shame. We have a lot of nice places that even a lot of our museums are free and are very didactic for, I don't know if that's the right word. In Portuguese is didactic when I'm just doing the right translation, direct translation, but it's like very interactive and very enriching with useful information, and can be great traveling with kids.
Yeah, incredible. Well, thank you for showcasing this for your fellow Portuguese as well as the whole world, and giving people a cross section. It literally is a cross section of Portuguese culture. What a great idea! Has your mission been accomplished, would you say, with what you?
Yeah, I think I will have content for the next few months. There is so much I can just do with this, the different gastronomies, the different landscapes, the different cultures. I've made content to publish videos about the main cities, so that's Chaves, Vila Real, Abrantes, Faro, and Viseu. And then there's a lot of content to just showcase, the museums, the so many things. There's so many things in this trip, really.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
It was amazing, but it's like I'm exhausted now.
I'm sure you are. You need a holiday. You need a holiday.
And yeah, I'm going to Brazil on the 16th, and I'm going to have a small proper holiday for 2 days.
Okay. And then there's the US trip, of course, which you told us about.
Yes.
So this is all very exciting stuff. Forca, apparently that's what Pete's village was called. Our village used to be called Forca. So they dropped the F, and now it sounds like we're in a land aquarium at Orca. There in central Portugal. Funny names. Antonio responding here with Venda de Raparigas in Alcapasa. What's that? The sale of kids, is it? The sale of young fellas?
The thing of young girls.
Of young girls, of course, yes. Not Raparigas.
But we don't go through that one on NDU, but I know where it is. I've been through that one.
And they don't do that there, I'm sure. Pobreza is poverty in the Caminha, and Garanhão is a stud in Ponta de Barca as well. So thank you for those, Antonio. Very good. And let's hope they make their way onto the Portugal Club resources at some point.
I think there was then, I don't know if it was Venda de Gaita or it was just Gaita. That is also a colloquial word was used for the male parts. And that one was full of stamps, the land. That's a kid thing, because this road is extremely popular for motards and motar clubs. Yes. And they have this thing where they just put stickers in the marks and things. And that particular land sign was full of stickers.
I'm sure it was. Can you say what it was? What's the word in Portuguese?
Gaita.
Gaita. Okay, all right. There's a little bit of vocabulary for everybody. So changing. Thank you, Antonio. Changing from Forca to Orca. From
Which
gallows
to Forca to Força. Yes, it is a bit ironic, isn't it?
That would have been a better change, perhaps, rather than changing it to the name of a killer whale. Okay, and just before we finish on, because I want to ask you about what you think of the new migration policies. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, but this was a road trip as well with your mum. Did she enjoy herself?
Yes, it was for her. It was kind of the celebratory road trip for her retirement.
Lovely.
And because she kind of, as soon as she retired, she was a nurse for me for like a month and a half after I had my surgery. And then we just went on this road trip, and it was her first retirement trip.
Oh, lovely. Well, do give her our best regards. And you're healing well, are you? I take it you're up and about and very busy.
I'm going great. Yes.
I'm so glad to hear that. Mr. S is being nosy and asking you where in Brazil you're going. We're talking about what a vast country it is.
I'm going first to Recife, and I have some family property there, so I'm going to take care of it, which is actually a huge headache. Yeah, we complain about Portuguese bureaucracy and corruption. Brazil is just 10 times worse, and it drives me nuts.
Good luck with that.
I will have a small vacation during the time, because my lawyer because I'm going the 16th. and my lawyer only comes on the 19th. So those 3 days, I'm going to have a proper vacation.
You're going lawyered up. Wow. Okay. Well, good
Yeah,
luck with that.
no, we have a lawyer taking care of things in Brazil because none of us live there.
Wow. Okay. Well, have a great trip. Have a good rest. And I hope you are able to resolve those issues over there. Before you go this morning and before we go into the weekend, our bon fin semana here in Portugal, what did you make of the new migration? I mean, this affects your business and how you help people. It looked like the changes, the 41 measures that were produced and shared on Monday were pretty favorable, right? Positive.
I haven't had the time to look at them because this has been just running around. And I did have work meetings and stuff in between, but it's just like, no, I didn't have the time yet, but I will be looking at that and giving an opinion.
Yeah, please do, because I think it is favorable, generally speaking. Well, they're making the right noises because, of course, whether or not these things are implemented and how quickly they're implemented is always remains to be seen. But it's as though the government are making the right noises. The key word they used was dignity, to help people get their decisions quicker and to have their processes more efficient. And they're incentivizing IMA with payments. The staff at IMA are going to be on bonuses if they work more quickly and process more people. Do you think that's a good idea, Anna?
Well, I don't know if the problem is the workers' efficiency or the lack of workers, so I'm not so sure that will work that well, but it's still a positive incentive.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Okay, so all of your reports from the N2 journey, a lovely thing to have done.
Yeah, I've put them on the highlights.
Yeah,
they're probably not going to be there forever, so do take a look. And then I'm going to do a YouTube video just recapping everything and with the structure and showing all the stamps and that stuff. And yes, like I said, a lot of content to come from this trip.
Well, I absolutely love it. Thank you very much for being with us this morning and sharing that with us, your journey there. More at Instagram / Savvy Cat Realty there. Anything else you want to tell us? I know you've been busy. We found out exactly why, but what's happening in the business? Is there anything we can help you with? Is there anything you want to share before you go?
Well, yeah, I'm still trying to structure my whole US trip thing, and I'm going to stay there for a while.
Yep.
And that's, of course, will be a challenge because the team will have to be more or less self-sufficient, although I will still be present. But I think my biggest challenge right now is to figure out how to place myself in the US market. And the one of the goals for that is exactly to try and have more direct interaction with the people that want to come to Portugal, as I feel that more and more there is noise and more people in the digital world, and it's important to try and do different types of communication.
Oh, so is that what your experience is? You think a lot of people are getting the wrong idea when they just are experiencing this absolute abundance of information? On the one hand, that's a good thing.
I think it's not just the wrong idea. Is that right now there are a lot of companies that claim to do the kind of thing I do. Some of them do very similar, and some of them do completely different things. And I fully understand how hard it can be to filter things.
Yes.
And we are a small company. I don't have a huge budget to spend on marketing, so it's very easy to get lost in the noise.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So doing your best to get through the noise and be a useful filter for people. All the best with your trip to the United States. And I'm hoping we'll stay in touch while you're there. The time difference will obviously be a little bit critical with that. And
we will have to try and organize that.
I hope so, or at least a video and some nice postcards, some digital postcards from you. Receive is
I'll probably be active on Instagram. Actually, it was very positive. We increased the following on Instagram very drastically. So I will make an effort to try and be more present and give more updates on Instagram frequently.
We will keep an eye on those, though, Anna. Thanks for being here this morning, and I hope the weather improves in the Algarve. How's it looking, do you think, for the rest of the day in the Algarve?
I think it's going to rain on the weekend. That's what was my friend was saying. But I'm actually going to Beja to a metal fest. So
you're going from Albufeira to Beja to a heavy metal festival.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Is that a notable one? Is that a big one that happens every year?
Yeah, it's a fairly small one called Nada Fest, but because the metal scene in Portugal, especially here in Algarve, is fairly small. So I do like to support, and also my Viking Tavern. I passed the business to a friend. They're going to be there with the new Viking Tavern that is now called Caldeirão Lendário.
Lovely. Well, rock on. Have a great time at the Metal Festival. All the best to you, Savvy Cat Ana. Have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana. Thank you for being here. Ciao, ciao. See ya. There she goes. Savvy Cat Ana there. Wow, what an amazing trip on the N2, Portugal's Route 66. Have another quick look of it there. That's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? And you can get that little passport that she showed us and get a stamp at each of those places. That is a wonderful thing to do, is it not? Thank you all for being here. Michael, quite right. Have a great weekend, everyone, doing that for me on my behalf. And let's have a quick look at Pete's wood before we go. Look at his clamps on there as well. Wooden clamps. It's a start of a great weekend, is it not, for you? And nice workshop as well, Pete. Is that yours, or is that where you go and get your hands on the wood every week? Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, everybody who sent things on 913-590-303, who's been here this morning and contributed in the chat. Bless you. God bless you all. Have a super weekend. Bon fin de semana. And the Vegas, we know it's not the Meta Festival, although Facebook might be planning one of those. The Vagos Metal Festival is great, says Andy, who obviously has very Catholic music tastes as well. Have a good one. Take care. Bye for now. And we'll see you on Monday with James. All the best. And yes, talking of James, yes, he is using the new schedule well, getting my full minimum of 60 minutes of Portuguese language study done every morning before the show. You legend. And another one from Pete there. Have a great weekend, everyone. All the best. Bye for now. See you Monday. Ciao, ciao. Bon fin de semana.
Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.